anything. Say nothing. Hello! Oh, good. I woke up Emma. Live from nowhere near Texas. It's a magical Monday edition of Business Pants. Joined as always by Emma Lurking. That's your... The Bronx Zoo called Emma. That's your new panda name, Lurk. Did you know that?
Oh. Huh. Vaguely problematic there, potentially?
Not checking this. How's that problematic?
Not sure.
Feels racist.
Doesn't it?
Which part? How dare you? How dare all of you?
I'm just saying. I didn't say it is racist. I said it.
Pandas are black and white anyway, so how do you even attach... Which side are you on here?
Look, I don't disagree with the politics of pandas.
And that's Matt, ESG Mascardi. I'm ineffective paste. You know that paste that just like... It doesn't matter how much you use, it just makes the paper soggy and not sticky. That's
it doesn't actually cool that.
Nothing's
Everything
happening.
Slides off of it.
Nothing's... Today's balloon-shaped bag of allergy-stuffed nuggets called July 11th, 2022. Sexy story updates, sleazy academic papers, and Emma's trendy dumpster dive. Hey,
Yeah. Lurk in the
Wait,
dumpster.
Emma, we didn't check in on your trend stories. You're back to your nefarious ways where you slip in stories at the end. You sneak in your stories.
Obviously, yeah. Clearly. Gotta keep you on your toes.
All right, Lurk.
This is gonna be a thing forever.
Oh, God.
All right. Unfortunately, we got to start with Twitter.
Oh.
Let's just do it. Musk informed Twitter he is terminating the deal to acquire the company. I think
What?
This was over the weekend, Friday. Oh, it was
Friday
a late
after
Friday
hour.
news dump, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
Twitter is saying that they are intending to take Musk to court to force him to buy the company for $44 billion. So let the awkwardness begin.
I know. That's like I'm breaking up with you. Oh no, you're not.
Yeah, exactly. So this was the best way I could think of handling the story. I found 8 different plausible scenarios how this could end, and I'm just going to go over them one by one, and you guys can either say something or you can just tell me it's boring and move on.
Can we
Okay.
pick how the board votes on each one of these scenarios?
That's going to be a lengthy show if you really want to do that.
I'm just gonna do it.
But go ahead. You're the ESG expert in the room, so go ahead. Here's the first one. Deal ends, Musk pays the breakup fee. Don't forget, there's a $1 billion breakup fee. Just think how simple and tidy that could be. Any chance we're going to get there?
No.
What?
No chance.
Proving that he's not a nice man. Because
No.
really, I just feel like with all the aggravation, all the time he's going to lose on this, the Tesla stock prices are going to continue to go down because they're like, what the hell is he doing? He might actually save himself a boatload of money just by the Tesla stock if he just very graciously bows out and pays the fee, right? I swear I'm right about this.
Well, maybe, but
Think about it.
The Tesla stock is down less than the Twitter stock today.
Oh, great.
So
Good for him. Yeah, that's good news.
It's
for
winning.
nobody. All right, so you guys are saying no to that one, right?
Yeah, no.
yeah, there's no way. The board actually, there's a binary decision
Yeah.
that in the courts, right? Like Musk makes $1 billion, or Musk pays $1 billion, or Musk pays $44 billion in the court.
Right.
That's pretty much it. And the board is going to be like, pay us the $44 billion so that we can stop being the board.
There's an interesting wrinkle to this, is that the board might not be allowed to let him just walk away, right? Because they might actually have to seek this deal because it's their fiduciary duty to take care of the shareholders.
I've never loved the words fiduciary duty.
Yeah, nobody
more.
wants to hear me say that. Okay, moving on. How about this one? How about Twitter just winning in court and Musk has to buy the company? And there is some precedent here, albeit back to 2001, where they forced Tyson Foods to buy some big beefy company.
Ooh.
They tried to back out, and they're like, "No, you got to."
How'd that work out for Tyson?
Well, I think it's going pretty well, is it not?
I think they gave everyone COVID.
Oh, whoops.
I think that actually this is the fun part.
But think
Like
about
this-
this. Think about being a Twitter employee or executive, and you're forcing an owner who doesn't love you anymore to be your daddy.
Can you imagine actually being Egon Durbin, who was forced by the board of Twitter to stay on the board of Twitter for this?
Well,
like
I think that if he wanted to resign after the shareholders voted him out, he couldn't even do it.
he handed in his resignation,
That's
and
true,
the
he
board
did.
rejected his resignation.
And he listened to the rejection.
And then he was
Yeah.
like, he didn't
Okay.
go back. He could have gone back and said, "Guys, I really
This
don't
is
want to be
ridiculous.
here anymore.
Yeah,
This
they
is
don't
stupid, and I
they
don't."
don't love me.
And they hate me. Everyone's
hate me.
unhappy. And David Rosenblatt and Brett Taylor were like, "Look, you're staying to see this thing through now because this is your fault. You put Twitter
Well-
in play with your stupid activism before. This is your fault now. You're staying until it's done." And now done looks like they have to fight in court for $44 billion.
Well, think about it. There's actually one of Musk's children is also suing him to break up, right? What if the court forces forces Musk to be the daddy, and the kid has to, right? Like, so this is kind of the same thing, is it not?
It's exactly the same.
Exactly the
It's parental rights.
Okay, the other number 3, Twitter wins in court, Musk pays damages. I think
The
that's
only-
Boring.
I'm thinking that one. Yeah, go ahead.
No, well, the court can't actually say $1 billion is not enough. The court can say
Why?
something about something called specific performance.
Oh.
And specific performance is Twitter is actually worth $25 billion. You offered $44 billion. You have to pay the difference, right? And that would be specific performance as the settlement. However,
so they can
in
do that? Yeah.
They can, but only if Twitter has another buyer who's willing to pay $25 billion.
Okay, we'll get
$20
to
billion.
that. Okay, we'll get to that. Well,
Not going to happen.
between the three of us,
I
if
asked
Emma
Ari
sold
if
her
she
naming
would
rights to her panda.
I
then
asked Ari
maybe-
if she would chip in her new Volkswagen electric vehicle for the purchase of Twitter, but she said
How about Musk agrees to settle with Twitter, and in this case, he would pay the fee and billions more in a brokered settlement. I mean, that's not going to happen. I mean, what is that?
that is a possibility, but if you're Musk, there's no way you can, like, in a Trumpian way, you can't afford to look like you lost, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you
So,
can't
he's so petulant and Trumpy that instead of just offering to write the $1 billion check now, he'd rather go through the mess of this without, because he doesn't want to look like he screwed up. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, doesn't
Okay.
his whole cult of personality sort of rely on like Elon's supremacy at all times? Like all of his fans are like, Elon doesn't lose, so he can't lose for his fans.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, did you see his Twitter post today was a bunch of memes of him like laughing and
Mhm, yeah.
yeah, you saw that.
Yeah,
he
it did.
really got you. He got you.
Yeah, so what is the cult of
Shareholders.
personality that like I don't even get what they're really what are they worshiping at this point? Just like a child? I don't understand. I don't really. I guess it's kind of lost
Yeah,
on me.
who are we trolling exactly? Also, who are we laughing at? Are we
Looks like
laughing
he was
at
trolling himself. Like,
Twitter?
look, I'm a big idiot. Yeah.
He is tweeting on
He's tweeting.
Twitter a joke about the fact that he's
Yeah.
trolling Twitter
Good
and not
point.
buying Twitter after saying he wanted to buy Twitter.
Well,
I don't
He
understand.
can't go on to Truth. He can't go on to Truth Social because he doesn't like Trump anymore. So
Well, not only
DeSantis
that,
needs to start a social media company, maybe.
Truth Social is investigated by the feds for illegally raising money, and
Oh,
giving. So that's probably going to get half shut down.
I think what Emma's saying is that DeSantis and Joe Rogan need to start a new social media company, right?
Yeah, that is exactly what I said, I think. Yeah, you heard that right.
That's what I thought. Okay, number 6. This is highly plausible. Musk changes his mind again, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
this one.
yes.
I'm
Yeah.
with this one. Yeah.
right? Because remember he promised. I think in an SEC filing, in a letter that was attached to an SEC filing, that he was not going to play any games. But clearly, this is all a big game. So you're right, Emma. There's another shoe to drop. I love how the press, the business news, and the regular press, every time there's another statement in the story, they think that it's over.
That's
Like
it.
this,
It's,
this
yeah.
is what's happening.
This must be true. I do have a conspiracy theory that
Yeah.
suggests that somewhere Jack Dorsey and Elon Musk are just they're together making this game. Like,
But okay, let's talk about it. So what? So how does this help Dorsey? I mean, why would Dorsey want this? Why wouldn't he want? How does he make? You think Musk is offering him like a check because doesn't Dorsey have a considerable shareholding?
Yeah, but I mean, these are billionaires. Like, you
Right,
lost
they don't-
$3 billion today. Like, okay,
Their
I
games are
got
different
400
than my
more. Who
games.
cares?
Yeah.
But like, I can imagine a situation in which they're having barbecue at Elon's 7th kid's house, like, and Jack is there and saying like, they're not telling you everything because Jack is pissed at his board, and he says something like, check the bots. Trust me, check the bots. And then Elon goes and he's like, this is the perfect pretense to get out of this or to lower the price if I can. And now I've got like insider saying it, but you can't say that in a legal filing, right? Like
Right.
Jack said the bots aren't there.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what cronyism is. And
Yes.
Jack was all behind. Like, he was on the board in April when the deal got approved, when
Yes,
Elon
when it
said,
was
I want to buy
consummated.
it. Yeah, when it was like, Jack was there for all of that. There's good evidence that Jack was sort of like a power broker to bring these two together. He then
clearly.
had a parting shot at his own board and compatriot Parag on the way out. It sort of would make some sense to me in a conspiratorial way that.
And 2 points. So Jack Dorsey currently owns 18 million shares of Twitter, which is a considerable amount. But if he's only saving $10 a share, that's only $180 million he's losing. That's not anything to him. It's
That's
nothing.
nothing. That's a parking
And
ticket.
2, what is a barbecue with Elon Musk like? Because isn't he plant-based only? Wouldn't Elon just be ridiculing him for eating plant-based foods? What's the tone there? I'm confused.
Does Elon
Well-
not like plant-based people? Is that a thing?
Don't you get the feeling that that's not very manly, Emma?
Yeah, but it's in direct contrast with the whole Tesla environment message, which I understand
True,
Elon has not
interesting. Yeah.
Elon has not necessarily been consistent with his save the earth messaging and actions. But, shitting on vegetarians and vegans as the CEO of Tesla looks pretty bad,
Yeah, and let me tell you that shit ain't great because it's like there's a lot of hamburger in there. There's a lot of gristle. It's terrible. Really, it's terrible. All right. Number 7, and this is part of the game. Musk and Twitter agreed to a lower price. Could that happen?
Yeah,
Is that just part?
That's possible.
Emma.
I
Emma
mean-
says no.
No, but it's possible that Musk just. You're saying no because you don't think Musk wants it at all, right?
No,
Yeah.
well, you don't. 'Cause I actually think this is a game just to lower the price. I think he still wants it, or he can't afford it,
You can
I don't
afford
know.
it. I mean,
I like the honesty there. Saying I don't know is a sign of wisdom, Emma. Because you know what? The three of us, we don't know anything. And finally, a white knight buys Twitter. I don't really like the way that sounds. CNBC.
Who could
What
that
the hell is
be,
a white
though?
knight? What? But
I
but is there anyone who could buy this? Who's coming in?
Who wants it?
Microsoft.
Ooh,
Interesting.
I like it. Are you just making that up?
Who's on the outside looking in on most of the social media universe, right? Like Microsoft has LinkedIn that like 7 people use, including us, which is basically
Wait,
tantamount
LinkedIn
to
is not
having-
powerful? Are you suggesting? I thought LinkedIn was a powerful entity. Oh, you're
LinkedIn's
scoffing.
got like 8 users. Let's go. Come on.
But they all have
like
master's degrees.
they gave us like a live stream on LinkedIn. That's how few users there are there.
Okay, I didn't
That's-
realize this.
But I think like Microsoft, if Activision acquisition is going to the courts in the EU to see if it's antitrust, and the US passed it because it doesn't make sense that it's antitrust, but in the EU, everything's fair game. Like they could just be
Right.
like, you can't own this, right? And in which case, if you're out of the Activision deal and you decide like, oh man, I can't deal with Bobby Kotick anyway and his cadre of Cosby sweeters,
Horror.
you're sitting on a bunch of cash that you devoted over there. Imagine if you're sitting there thinking to yourself, well, what's something else we could buy and immediately be useful that you could buy Twitter. That would be pretty
and you
cool.
could give it to the Skype team because they've been bored for a long time.
You know what would be even funnier is if Tesla bought Twitter and not Elon Musk.
And Kimball Musk became CEO.
Kimball
of
had to
everything.
approve that transaction.
All right. Okay. So before we wrap up on Twitter today, what do you think's going to happen? Give me a prediction. Somebody. You can have a joint prediction if you want. I don't care.
Go ahead.
Somebody.
Emma, have a prediction.
What's going to happen, Emma? Emma knows. Emma watches Saturday Night Live. She knows things.
Oof. Emma
What's gonna
barely
happen?
watches Saturday Night Live, and Emma also definitely doesn't know. But
Oh.
I don't know. I think that this whole thing was sort of embarrassing for Twitter. I don't
Yeah.
know. I think that whatever's going to happen is going to be saving face from Twitter as opposed to like the financially smart decision. I don't know. I just think it was all super embarrassing. And I think that they're going to try to get him to buy it at whatever cost necessary, but I sort of don't think it's going to happen still.
Yeah, because we know Parag doesn't want to run this company, so you might be
Yeah.
right. I mean, they might just be the play to like force this jerk. You know, the parallels here with the January 6th insurrection and the big lie are kind of alarming to me, right? Because he's leaning on this strange. I'm getting out of this deal because they're not giving me the information. They're not giving me the fact. They're lying, right? Like they're lying about something, but he's not proving they're lying.
No, that was my favorite part about the letter.
Yeah.
If you haven't read the letter, people, go
I have read the
read
letter. I don't even know
the
why.
letter because it's fantastic gaslighting.
Yeah.
In which Elon Musk goes through and says, I've asked for the data. I asked for the data. They won't give me the data. There's not enough data. I asked them for this. They gave me some of it, but not all of it. The data. There's too many bots. That's my suspicion, and they won't give me the data to prove it.
Suspicion.
Next section. The data that I did get suggests there's too many bots, right? Like
Right.
where he basically says, I don't have the data to do that. And then the next section says, but I think there's too many bots based on what they gave me. Well, did they give you the data to suggest something or not? Like you just spent 3 paragraphs saying they didn't give you the data. The next section after that says, you promised that you would give me a whole bunch of stuff, including that they said, we asked for Goldman Sachs' valuation of Twitter, and you didn't give us the working copy. You gave us a PDF. That is legitimately a sentence in there saying you gave us what we asked for, but you gave us it as a PDF, not the working
I'm with
copy.
them.
We're
I hate
very
getting PDFs.
disappointed.
I'm with them. I hate it. I
We
hate PDFs.
didn't give us what we asked for because we asked for working copy and you gave us PDF. And then the
Yeah.
final section is where he says, you also said that you would maintain your operations, but you fired 2 executives.
Fired Doug.
You fired Doug. 2 executives. We're very
Yeah.
pissed that you fired those 2 executives. And also, P.S., a bunch of people quit without mentioning the fact that they quit because,
Because of
Elon
Elon,
Musk
yeah. Well,
was buying the company.
not to mention that first of all, it's common procedure to let go of executives and to have hiring freezes before you're acquired. Second of all, it happened in early May, and we've heard nothing. We haven't heard Elon complain about it. So, and we
And-
know that he likes to talk. So
The market has tanked, and Elon Musk has talked over and over again about how the market is really terrible. He said it's like really
All right.
sucky. It's really bad. It's really bad. And
What is your
they had a
prediction?
hiring. It's bananas. Here's my prediction.
Yeah.
Okay. Brett Taylor becomes the co-CEO of Twitter,
Wait a
like
minute.
with Parag, because
okay, I'm already liking this.
the board
Co-CEO.
is so upset at Parag for not showing enough leadership that they asked
Yeah.
the chair, Brett Taylor, to act as co-CEO with Parag. So he's the co-CEO at Salesforce and co-CEO at Twitter. So he's a co-CEO. I think Egon Durbin hands his resignation in again, saying this is a total shit show. Can
Yes.
you please stop making me a zombie director?
Yes.
And Fei Li, who is, according to our metrics, this board is very democratically dispersed in terms of influence.
It is.
And we don't know exactly who's driving this boat, but it's very democratic right now. And Fei Li announces that she has developed an AI and she's replacing the entire board otherwise with artificial intelligence.
With AI. I think
That's what
the most
I think
likely
is
outcome.
happening.
The
That's
only
the
thing you miss is that the SEC penalizes Parag, the CEO Parag, and makes him wear a glitter helmet because they're upset that he didn't have any kind of effective power to kind of wrangle these idiots.
That's
in the
actually
first
the
place.
one thing that you didn't put in your scenarios, which is the SEC
The glitter helmet.
comes in and basically like fines Elon Musk out of enough money to finance
You know what?
the deal with Twitter.
It's interesting you said that because I think the New York Times hinted at this morning. I think they're suggesting the SEC is afraid to penalize someone like Elon Musk in fear that he just won't do it, and then it'll make the SEC look like idiots.
Oh,
like
wow.
we're back to the
That's
Trump kind of
next
world.
level. That's
Yeah, next
wow.
level. All right.
Wow. Okay.
I'm gonna pass. I feel like I've taken up too big of a segment here. I have a great big story about Uber that broke in the Guardian over the weekend, but I'm gonna save that for tomorrow, Wednesday, or whatever. But stay tuned for a riveting reporting on Uber.
It actually was
Matt,
good. It was good.
Matt, take it
reporting.
away. Take it.
All right, Nerd Alert. It is Nerd Alert Monday. If you get that feeling that your job is basically set up so that you serve your corporate overlords and they're controlled by a cabal of secretive elitists, this Nerd Alert suggests you might be right.
Ooh.
That's right. I took a picture. I grabbed a snapshot of one of those elitists, Scott Davis, the chief investment officer of the Indiana Public Retirement System. Looks like a secret Kabbalist. But here is what's really happening. If Damien would stop moving the damn like
Yeah, damn.
Okay, go ahead.
like
Go
I
ahead.
can't even read
I'm
the
doing-
notes.
I'm
the
doing
show
some
notes.
shopkeeping while he's talking. Go ahead.
I'll let the nerds tell
I'm
you.
done.
The paper is Shareholder Power and the Decline of Labor. It's from May of this year. It's by Antonio Filato, Hyun Siab Kim, and Till Von Wachter. Those
Ooh,
are
nice.
real people,
I like
apparently.
a Von Wachter, yeah.
Here's the upshot from the paper.
Mm-hmm.
In economies where institutions own a high concentration of the companies, they found lower employment and wages.
The economies were. Okay.
All right, the
Okay.
paper uses Bureau of Labor Statistics data. It's confidential data, actually, and ownership data differentiating between different types of owners of institutions like activists and index owners, pension funds, highly concentrated, yada, yada, yada. Here are the important takeaways.
Ooh, I'm excited for the takeaways.
Quote, increases in concentration of institutional ownership lower establishment employment and payroll while raising shareholder value without apparent increases in labor productivity. Translation.
Yeah, translate that.
When there are fewer large owners who own most of the market, they demand shareholder returns at the expense of your job, people. It
When there are
means that the
fewer
pension
large
funds
owners. Yeah.
that have concentrated, they own the entire market. They're massive institutional owners. BlackRock, Vanguard, they own the entire market. And pension funds, when they own the entire market amongst fewer and fewer people, they demand that companies give them labor's share of returns.
Wow.
That's basically what they
This
found.
this is actually in a very nerdy niche way pretty big news.
It was an epic paper. It's really
Yeah.
hard to get through because
So
it's a lot of methodology.
Proving once again that the anti-woke's target should never be BlackRock.
Not if they want to be anti-woke, because
Yeah.
BlackRock
Right.
is effectively rent extraction
Yes.
from employees
Yeah.
to
I mean,
investors.
The idea that the anti-woke, the right, the Republicans would go after BlackRock in the first place is just laughable on so many levels. But go ahead.
I love
keep
it.
Going.
It's fantastic. Here's another quote. Quote, high union coverage, which increases employee bargaining power, mitigates the negative effect of powerful institutional
Wow.
owners on
Yeah.
employment.
Okay.
Unions are one of the solutions for
Yeah.
maintaining your level of wages and payroll
Oh, really?
where Institutions own all
I mean,
the
if I had
companies.
if I was working the sound effects board right now, I would do something that mocked you for saying something on
It's the most obvious thing. It means
Right.
unions actually do make employees more
Well,
money.
this is why I'm going to continue this push. I'm the lone person in this great ESG world that we live in, and really, it is a fantastic world. Let me say, we got pools and Ferraris and hot tubs.
Oh yeah.
But I am the lone person on this ESG island who's pushing for. I want employee representation on U.S. boards. Come on, join the fight with me. Come on, let's do it.
Well, here's the thing. The papers actually, their suggestion was one of your favorite things, which is
Ooh.
increase labor representation on boards as a
Oh, really?
mitigating
Honestly, I
I'm
didn't
not
even
joking.
look at that. I didn't look at that note when I filibustered there. I'm very thrilled with this.
You must be thrilled with yourself.
I actually
for
am.
that being.
I mean, I know
a
no
thing.
one takes me seriously, but I actually do believe in this cause. Like this cause is important.
Here's the downside.
Yeah.
The side note from the paper, it turns out that dual class companies are actually associated with higher wages because there's less
Okay.
concentrated institutional control.
But did they figure
yes,
that
they control for industries.
for industry? Okay.
Mhm.
Well, then I can't say my
I'm
ridiculously genius point about tech companies.
Yeah, I know. I had the same point in my
You
head.
had the same problem,
Yeah.
okay.
But overall, look, this is a good
Yeah.
thing.
Let's
So,
just forget that part. Like we used to do when we used to work for a S&P 500 company. Let's just omit that part from the paper.
We don't need to
Sounds good.
talk about that part.
Yeah, we don't
part
need to talk
exists
about that
somewhere
part.
over there. To the employees of the dollar store,
Yes.
you have been pissed at Mike Witniski, who's the CEO of the dollar store, for basically putting you in rat feces infested, distribution centers, or paying you 6 cents an hour, and working you 700 hours a week. He's the wrong target. The institutional owners are keeping you down. Vanguard, BlackRock, and a company called Mantle Ridge, which is a Bill Ackman activist protege.
Huh.
They own the vast majority of the company. They're the ones who want to take your money. It's Scott Davis of Indiana Pension Fund. They're your overlords. You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Hey, this
That's
is
it.
Matt. That was your best nerd alert ever. I'm going to go on record as saying, and once again highlighting that. Why are we the only ones talking about ownership?
I
and
love when the
directors?
nerds make back us up.
Thank you, Emma.
All right.
Good luck topping that because Matt really his nerddom shined really brightly today.
I really can't top that, and for that reason, I will go quickly. It is your trendy dumpster dive. Yay! Number
Dumpster.
1. It is Prime Day, and by that I mean Prime Day is Tuesday and Wednesday because it is actually a
Wait.
2-day event.
Okay, Prime Days.
Prime Days, yes, that it would be the more correct thing. And the only thing I have to say is this. I clicked
Yes.
on an article that happened to be on CNET, and it is entitled, As Prime Day Nears, Injured Amazon Warehouse Workers Still Get the Runaround. So I read this lovely article. It told me about how Amazon warehouses have double the rate of injury of other American workhouses. They have 7 injuries per 100 workers, and a worker got injured on the job, and then a doctor from Amazon told him that the injury
from
was
Amazon.
permanent, so he couldn't work. They couldn't find him another job that would accommodate his disability, and he stopped receiving his benefits. And then I read through all of this stuff, this
Yeah.
great reporting, and then as I scrolled to the end of the article, that headline from the next article said 42 Amazon Prime Day deals under $25.
Yes.
Well, can I say one thing, Emma?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about this year, but I'm actually seeing a lot of negative press about a lot of the headlines are suggesting like it's not worth it. Like, are these
Mhm,
really
that too.
good deals? Are they
Mhm.
really discounts? What's happening? This is
No
the
one-
effect of Andy
Yeah.
Jassy. You got to have a bald supervillain to run your company, because if you have a guy named Jassy, nobody's going to care.
Well,
Clearly not.
it also doesn't help that Walmart decided on Prime Day to announce its own rival
Prime
Prime
Day?
Day. Yeah.
Okay.
So
What else,
now
Emma?
apparently Christmas is in July.
Thank you.
All
Finally.
right. Number 2, we have sorry about this name. Kyrgios wore a red cap to
Greek?
Wimbledon. Here's why
Yeah.
that's controversial. The reason it's controversial is because you're supposed to wear all white to Wimbledon. That's it.
Oh, really?
Really? That's
Refs
where
have
we're
even
at as a
checked
culture?
players' underwear color. Like, they're intense about it. And I think
Really?
it's only got yes,
great.
yes. I think it's only gotten stricter, but like Andre Agassi has criticized it, Roger Federer has criticized it, but they are really doubling
I-
down on the white.
I know what
which
my next
turns
job
out
is after Matt fires me.
The white is because sweat was considered unseemly in the UK, and white was the best at hiding that. So apparently you can't play a sport and look sweaty. So
Interesting.
this led me down a rabbit hole of looking at Wimbledon, which is run
Yeah.
by the All England Lawn Tennis and Croquet Club, which is private.
Yeah, we don't
but
see a lot of croquet out of that club. We're only seeing tennis. What's the deal? I want to see
I
some
would
croquet.
agree. Croquet gets ignored, and I think that's unfair,
Mhm.
Damien. Yeah,
It's a problem.
champion the croquet cause.
And let me tell you, you can't sweat playing croquet, so it solves another problem.
No, beg to disagree on that one.
Yeah,
So,
definitely disagree.
All right. I don't know what version you're playing.
here's
There's a lot
some
of
things
running.
about the All England Lawn Tennis and Croquet Club. Men and women have only been receiving equal prize money since 2007. They
Okay.
have 12 board directors, 3 are women, and they have a
Right.
female CEO.
Oh,
And
whoa.
they have the longest running sports sponsorship with their tennis ball maker, Slazenger.
That's a
which
weird.
is-
Oh,
That's a weird
terrible
addition at
name.
the end. I don't know why you're
Terrible
ending
name.
with that. Female
Terrible
CEO
name.
though, I give them credit for that. Come on.
And number 3,
Yeah.
National 7-Eleven Day. How to get a free Slurpee for 7-Eleven's 95th birthday.
I love it.
How you do that is you have to sign up to be a 7 Rewards member or a Speedy Rewards member.
Okay, now you're losing me now.
And I looked into 7-Eleven, which is actually owned by 7 & I Holdings, which is a public Japanese company, and they were the 15th largest retailer in the world as of 2018. They bought Speedway, which is another American convenience store chain,
Yeah.
in 2001. 3 out of their 15 board members are women, which I believe for Japanese companies is actually not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's pretty good, dude.
And then finally, our friend and activist investor Dan Loeb
He's our
managed to
friend.
oust
Yeah.
the former CEO who was grooming his son to be his replacement. And Dan Loeb said, absolutely
Well,
not. And he got
yeah.
voted down in a board standoff. And
I
now
like it.
Dan Loeb chose the CEO, and he's currently in place.
Well, that's another hallmark of a lot of companies over there is grooming sons to take over.
But
It's-
you
I mean, I'm
know,
not
it's
saying
just-
that as a joke.
Emma, like 2 weeks in a row, has
Mm-hmm.
effectively told me that the most American things I can think of, hot dogs and Slurpees, are owned by a Chinese company and a Japanese,
and a Japanese company.
Correct. Correct.
That's mind blowing to me. So Americans, you're not so American. Just everyone
let's
else
be real.
is
Let's be real,
is
Matt.
shoving sugar down your throat.
Can we be real
Truly.
for a second before we wrap this up? Since our childhoods, and I'm going to pretend we shared the same childhood, or at least maybe we were
Yeah, we
like
did,
riding our
80% of it,
BMXs,
yeah.
our BMXs together somewhere in
I
New
was
England.
born in 1892.
Since then, hasn't the luster of 7-Eleven and hot dogs kind of worn thin? Like they're kind of they're dipping, they're falling. Are you blaming Asia for that? That's what I'm really getting at. Are you blaming
Are
Asia
you saying I'm racist?
for ruining
No.
the reputation of both 7-Eleven and hot dogs?
Actually, I'm doing quite the opposite and
You-
saying that they haven't fallen at all, and
Okay.
Americans love their Slurpees and their hot dogs.
Okay.
They're deeply
Well,
leaning into Asia.
I'm waiting for
This
the data
is-
to prove that before I buy your company.
That was a trendy dumpster dive and a show, I guess, in which we talked about things. And that's all we have to talk about. That's Emma Lurking, Damian Rollis. I'm Matt Mascardi. We are Free Float Media. Come back tomorrow where we're going to go over some Uber stuff, but also some other stuff. And we'll talk to you